We can go into anything here tonight that you'd like to explore. Vanessa?
There's something I would like to explore is because I was praying and I was thinking, because in my mind that is confused, and if it is possible, how can I share something without blame someone? But it's, and if in that moment I'm that place where I believe that I'm feeling that way because of someone else, and it seems like if I don't say I'm feeling like this because of you, it's I'm not honest. I'm not, I don't feel it's like that is, I'm trying to tell myself, to say to myself like, oh, it's not the right way to share, it's not the helpful way to share. And that maybe we should, I just don't know. And because I feel this kind of bottom inside me that maybe it's another thing, but it's I need to defend myself. If I don't defend myself, there's some feelings there that I cannot handle. I cannot I don't have the strength to allow it, and then many times when Jonas says something to me, and I see myself really quickly defend, trying to explain why I did what I did. And I think that there are these two topics that I would like to share and then ask for help.
And there you have it. Your desire is to ask for help. Your desire is healing. And then because of this desire, you can share absolutely anything and in any way that it comes out. Sometimes it can sound like blame, just because there are feelings there, attack and defense, or the whole point of expressing and exposing. And when you have this willingness to heal, you can share in any way that it comes out. And and the second part about being defensive, I think it's just part of the first thing here. We can start with the first.
What do you mean? It's like I don't need to be worried about sharing. I don't.
No. Yeah, because you share for healing. You're not sharing to blame someone. You're sharing because you need help with your mind.
I don't know exactly what to share. It's more in our daily days, and when we, when I try to share something, and it's we live together, and then and then I live only with him here, and then there are a lot of this idea of I feel like this because of when you do this, when you do that. But then we go into this, oh, I don't do this, and then you should not blame me, and then you should not say this about me, and then I start to wonder and say, oh my God, and feel tired about this, and you know, it's, yeah, and this the second topic was it's just this where what can I do to really let it go, because sometimes I also feel if it's a kind of pride for me, like, or fear, you know, just not to face what is the correction is about, or I just feel in this state of alarm, you know, to defend, to give some explanation many times.
Yeah, it's a bit like a pressure cooker to be just the two of you there. And relationships provide so much healing. It feels like you just have a lot of opportunities to work with the mind. And sometimes it's okay to reach out for support, you know. But in the past, when I had intense relationships, I was kind of drawn into having this, like, oh, it's just between me and God anyway. The relationship is with God. I have to go back to God, and I have to sometimes just take time out and just go out for a walk and talk to God about everything, or sit down and write, or, you know, go into the bathroom or whatever, you know. Lots of prayer and asking for guidance. What would you have me say? You know, because blaming and saying you should not say this or you should not do that. Yeah, that's not working. But to talk things through, to say, I feel, I experience, I perceive, I would appreciate, or this would help me if you, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can come back to speaking gently about what would be helpful, what you feel, what you perceive. But anytime we point finger, you know, we attack, and then there will be defense. Or if we defend ourselves, we are attacked. So like you said, how quickly you notice you defend. If he says something, immediately you defend. If I defend myself, I'm attacked, you know. So maybe there is a fear of being attacked. So you're already defensive, you know. So it can be good to pray for some miracles, some relief from this ping pong. And wash the guilt, because it's the guilt, the core in the mind. It's like this guilt that attracts blame. And I hear the word speak up too. So you can trust the inner voice, you can trust the intuition. And put Jonas on the altar. Keep handing him over. Unless we can get too preoccupied. And we just need to hand over the other person. Does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. My heart just say, ah. My heart just feel like, thank you for that.
Oh, big hug to you. So sweet to join with you.
Keep having the thought, if you pray for miracles, just pray for like a bunch extra so that you have them on hand when you need them.
That sounds good. And you're going to need them, when someone is going through that deep patterns, intensity, whatever it is, jealousy or anger, you need to be very lighthearted, realize it's not really about you. It's about whatever healing is happening there. It's trust, a lot of trust. You need a bucket of trust and a bucket of miracles.
Just a little bit ago, when we were out, I saw these three guys carrying these buckets. Each of them had two big buckets in their hand. I think they were working at a restaurant, and I was like, oh, gotta whip up a big batch of miracles or something.
They had it. You're a miracle worker. That's for sure. And give Jonas a big hug from us too. He feels like he's doing great. He keeps going with his job, and it was beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other shares here?
Hello.
Hi there. It's nice to have you here in the group.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I haven't joined anything like this for a while, so and I always get really nervous anytime I'm about to share. I just about faint, and then I get over it in a minute. I just felt the prompt to speak up. I don't know exactly what I'll say. I think at least part of it is that I just want to feel the connection, and I feel that if I don't share myself, if I don't speak, to the gathering in some way, I don't get that. I usually don't get that feeling, the real connection I'm looking for, until I share something of myself, at least a little bit, and then I kind of sink into the experience more and feel connected with whoever's here. So that's part of it for sure. What's been on my mind for a long time is physical pain. But maybe it's not physical pain. Maybe the topic is acceptance, surrender. Also confusion about knowing what to do. What is the path? When physical pain is consistent and heavy enough that it heavily impacts what I do or don't do. I'm in a little bit of hesitation about how much story to share. I feel a little, I want to navigate very clearly how much story I perpetuate from the past. I want to try to come from right now as much as I can. But there's a lot of pain. It's there all the time, and it's been for a long time. And I don't know that I feel it to say anymore. I think just that, and if something comes from that, then so be it. And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, I think, you know, when the pain doesn't seem to have a present source or present cause, it is actually this past kind of warning system that keeps going and keeps going. Because there was a time when the pain came in as a defense against something difficult.
Is it okay if I speak more?
Mm-hmm.
That just reminded me that several memories have been coming back lately, childhood memory type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And something that just occurred to me in the past day or so is, I remember when I first started feeling, I started having these memories of getting closer to when I first felt less than others around me. When my family broke up and we went living with just my mom, all of a sudden it was a feeling of being poor and not having nice clothes anymore. And there was like comparison between the sneakers I wore to school and all this stuff. And a memory came back to that really clearly recently, I even feel a little embarrassed sharing it now, like as though it doesn't have a meaning or something, but the way that I felt it was really, really deep. And I guess I'm always kind of fishing for I'm feeling blocked right now, honestly. I don't know if I'm wanting to share. My ego is coming up, and my brain is getting a little swirly, and I've been here before and I want to move past it, but I start to get really sort of swirly. I'm not really sure how to share right now. I what we've been talking about lately, Jenny, is good. I've been joining with you. I want to, I don't know, I want something valuable to happen if
Yeah,
possible right
maybe
now.
relax for a moment, just and maybe look at everyone and just kind of shake. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to share. It's okay not to share, you know, and I want to help you out of that kind of stressful, disconnected feeling that you described.
It just feels so big for me all the time. It's felt so big for so long. Since I was a little boy, it's felt big. Since I was a little boy, I was brought up in a Pentecostal, culty Christian church, and I was told about Satan, and he's real, and Jesus is real. And it's like, I've been crying about this since I was a little boy. This whole story has been so intense, it's been scaring the shit out of me since I was a tiny little kid, to the point of being like psychotic, just psychotic breaks over and
You
over.
have it right there, Pete. It scared the shit out of you since you were a little boy. This is the pain. And not just that, not just the Pentecostal, but yeah, you shared a lot more with me, and it's it's traumatic, and it's kind of trained into your system. So here you are, and you're carrying this stuff, that this stuff is real, and it's very scary, because it was very scary to be a kid and have all that around you. So now you need to rewire your whole system to let
What's
the whole.
hard is I've been getting this information for a long time. It's been years that I've been hearing this kind of information, right? And telling this story. I've told my story. And it's still this tension that's in there. And it's always a tension. It's always like a back and forth. There's always like two minds. One mind, in a way trying to follow Course in Miracles philosophy, like all the way, like just let go of the story. Another part talking, like saying, no, you are going to have to do something with this. You're going to have to like work through the world with, or through the story in some way or something. But it's like, I don't know don't know what to actually do. You know what I mean? I don't know what to actually. Am I gonna just keep telling this story? Like these people listening, I don't even know if they're can. I feel like I'm being so vague in a certain way at the same time. Like I don't even know if I'm really saying anything. But it's like I've been telling this story for a long time. Pete, traumatic upbringing, bunch of bad stuff happened, bunch of psychotic breaks, bunch of
And that
depression.
it's a scream for help. You try, you know, but you feel like you don't really get the help. You
Yes.
keep telling the story, but yeah, that is maybe even a pattern or kind of perpetuating it in a way. But I hear you're calling for healing, you know, and that feels really good. And that you are with us, I feel like we are a perfect, you know, fusion of the course and the emotional healing, you know, because we can't avoid it, you know, and can't avoid the healing. And we have found many very healing ways to work with it and to release the past in a way that actually works, you know.
And I would just say you can't judge your progress by the fact that maybe it's not gone yet. This pattern is still here, the intensity is still here. That doesn't cancel out the healing you've already experienced. And the sharings, I think all of it has been a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still more. You're still in it.
I mean, sometimes I can feel this sense of like something to let go of, and then the fear is there, and there's a little bit of awareness that it is this pattern that's perpetuating. Even talking about it in this way, like I can feel it right now. It's even this kind of
Yeah.
And the fears come up about impatience. Like I'm getting all the people thoughts are coming in my mind right now, like the rest of the group here.
Yeah, so these are the patterns too. So I would invite you right now to just feel what you feel. Where do you feel? Where is the strongest feeling in your body? Just identify it.
It's kind of heavy everywhere, but my lower right back is, usually uncomfortable when I try to sit like this.
Mm-hmm. You just be with that for a moment. So I do think with trauma, we do scream for help. And if we didn't get the help in the past, that repeats, it's on repeat. So even the experience of nothing helps, that is also part of the pattern. And it's not true. We want Pete, not repeat.
And when pain is so deep, it does need to be shared over and over as many times as is required. So what you described doesn't sound at all wrong to me. It's just you're on the journey. And as Jenny said, each time you're sharing, you are calling for help. And Spirit always hears and always answers.
Yeah, and sometimes in the form of people, often. I think the patterns can be very ingrained, and if the adults didn't care for you very well as when you were little, you will also not trust, a lot. So it will feel like a seeking, like a constant seeking for safety.
Yeah, that's the basis of my reality. Yeah, it's always nothing is safe.
Yeah.
I fool people really well. I can not that I'm really trying to fool people. I don't really mean it that way, but like people, I don't think people can tell how much is. I can look really calm. I think people can be standing next to me and not know that it's an absolute tornado inside me of anxieties and fears and just trauma, just physically there.
And I'm guessing as you're hearing us talking, a part of you wants to really take it in, but you're also going through big doubt and disbelief.
It's more like this semi-disembodiment, like a dissociative thing. That's part of the pattern too. There's a dissociative that's, it's neither in like healthy, pure awareness consciousness or fully in the body. It's like stuck in this in between of dissociated and so there's in a way a blank emptiness, and then there's this like feeling of wanting something to occur, but then I'm trying to just sort of stabilize and just stay in the center and almost not speak much either, because there is such a sense of it being pattern. So I'm trying to sort of hold in the middle in some way and just not let anything be uttered that's a continuation of the pattern or something like that. So I'm trying to just be comfortable in the uncomfortableness, waiting for something to happen. But I want something to happen.
Well, yeah, your pattern is going to shift. Pete, you don't need to feel that controlled, because that is also part of it. Like you felt very tense and that you have to be in control, but you can relax, and it's okay if you talk and share. I feel a big shift in you from a few years ago. You're actually more, you're talking less, I want to say, but yeah, when we have been mistreated, it's not safe to be us, It's this feeling of it's not safe to be me and to be on my own because people did stuff to me, that kind of feeling. It's not safe to be me. So I have to get out of here. So then you kind of actually leave the body. You're not fully here, like you say. Half part of you is floating in the ethers, not in a good way. It's not in spirit, it's in a lost way. And that's where we want to bring you back. It's safe, because this awful stuff that happened in the past, it is not happening right now. And this is how I worked a lot with myself, to really allow to come back, to feel myself. And it's safe to feel yourself. At all times. To be very gentle with it. Be very, very loving. To be a loving parent you didn't have, That's
I've been trying that a lot. I've been trying to really, that is more what it's like now. It's a lot less looking for enlightenment or looking for mystical experiences, because they were so helpful, when they happen. They're so, it's so beautiful when everything's erased for you. But no, I am trying to, it feels like trying to be responsible, honestly. Even if I left the spiritual discussion out of it, it feels like I'm just trying to be a responsible adult, and it is me that I'm trying to just take care of. I'm trying to do it without as much fanfare as I have, because I'm a pretty dramatic person, pretty extreme. which isn't necessarily all bad. It's part of my personality too. But yeah, I want to keep inching closer and knowing that it is real. This thing that feels fleeting, but I get sparks of it in my mind of the real me in a totally different experience without some cellophane around my being. Like these glimpses that it's there, and it's yeah. I want to keep inching towards it, and hopefully that's what's happening. I think so.
I think so too. I know so. Feel it.
And I want to smile, and I want to cry, and I want to love, but it's like I have to kind of let it be, that's part of the pattern too, the highs and the whatever, and like, so I kind of have to just let this be kind of a little more boring or sober right now in some way too, just because that feels the safest or healthiest or something.
Yeah, and it's safe. It's safe to love and cry too, if that comes out.
Yeah.
Whatever, however it looks, is fine. Yeah, and I feel like you, I also sought God so deeply, I sought enlightenment because I realized that it's only safety in God, not in the world, definitely not in people. That kind of drive was super strong for me too. But it was almost like taking such a leap into God that there was some parts that were not healed, so we still need to work and allow. It's from the bottom up, like the Course says, the healing happens from the bottom up. So yeah, it's this calm allowance. There's nothing to fear. You're safe, and it seems weird to have to say that to ourselves when we know we're safe. There's no apparent threat, but somehow in the system there has been some built-in reactivity that has, this red alert. So yeah, so I think even your pain is going to go away, more and more. Thanks for being here with us and sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for being here for us, for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you, Kate.
Love you too. Thank you.
I love you 3.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It was really good to be here. I've been trying to listen to guidance and around needing support to open up more. And this group kept calling me, so here I am.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And what is feeling confining to me, and has for many years, is also pain, physical pain symptoms, and for many, many, many years, and 24/7. Lots of exploration around outside of that, much, in a sense, fulfillment and loving the journey and that kind of thing. But so I don't know what the confinement really is. Certainly physical confinement with what helps me feel comfortable, which is almost always being home and never sitting jackknife, reclining in bed or my recliner, and thank goodness for Zoom and internet and joining opportunities. Wow. So I think I feel like I've keeps coming to me about building this safety security nest that helps me feel comfortable around these symptoms, the way I do my day, the way I have rest breaks. Don't feel like I can do a lot of physical things for very long. And I feel like I'm kind of addicted to this safety net. You know, it's and that there's a whole other safety net that's really not about this at all. You know, that's the safety net of just feeling trust and just being streaming into pray, listen, follow. I can get impatient, but it is growing. My conceptualization around illness has really changed. It really irked me that A Course in Miracles won't validate the experience of symptoms. It's a defense against the truth. And that took quite a while to move through, and to just, and there was a sense of pride around, well, you know, I'm somehow feel indicted because I have physical pain, like the mark of, you're not getting this, you know, you're not spiritually evolved because you've got pain. And then it's just like the experience of being in a body at all. It's all the same thing. It's all limitation. It's all sense of separation. It's all just keeping that going against the truth. So I feel more and more an opening to, you know, ask, okay, what emotions are behind this, you know, really? I feel safe in asking that. Without feeling indicted about it, you know, somehow I'm missing the mark. And just say, okay, you know, part of my journey has been this physical pain, building this security nest, you know, this confinement that feels safe, that has become an encasement. You know, I grew up in a highly intellectual, highly creative, very emotionally repressed family, very emotionally repressed. And illness was allowed, but and got attention, but there was no way to explore emotions. So it's interesting to me now and it feels good. It feels good to ask for help around it, and it just feels good to say, yeah, I want to feel more. You know, I really want to feel more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you're sharing about your pain too, I get this very specific kind of feeling, and well, forgive the gesture, but it's like this. It's like, you know, it's like I just like feel it like over and over. It's so strong. It's like that's what I feel in your pain. Just like over and over. So I don't know if that is something that you're interested in exploring, that feeling, that, you know, that's just keeps coming through as you're sharing.
It's really hard for me to express about emotions. Really, really hard. And a feeling of somehow I'm going to die if I express the feelings. So it's safer just to.
Did you feel something now, though? Just then? Just as you expressed this, there seemed to be sadness about it.
Yeah, I can move into that, the sadness, where I have felt hugely isolated in pain. Not knowing how to care about it, talk about it. And there's a feeling when I did with Margot once, I did a instrument for peace, and I got the insight that I don't deserve help. And so there's a lot of sadness around. And yet, when I think empathy for the pain would be helpful, and as I've explored my pain over the years, I've been in some pain psychology, etc. You know, empathy for the pain is not the answer, but somehow empathy in another way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, empathy for you.
Yeah. That's bringing up a lot of emotion.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. Tears are good.
Yeah, they are.
Because somewhere you know you are worthy. You're worthy of not just help and support, but love. Because you're lovable. And love wants to flow through you as well.
And I want to be a channel of love. Very, very much.
This allowance is so healing. Just allowing, because that no inside of it has been there for so long that it's just not any good. We can fire that no sayer, that ego that puts this strain and this tension. And just say, no, I allow. I just want to allow. However I feel right now. It's okay. It's safe. And it is invited. I mean, Jesus uses even the right use of judgment. How do I feel? How do I feel? And if the feelings have been so neglected and refused and rejected, we haven't really allowed to use that right judgment. But we have full permission from Jesus to use that. How do I feel? Simply allow, moment by moment.
I love this permission to allow. That's lovely.
Yeah. I feel sometimes, the way the ego is in our psyche is sometimes the way our parents were. So if there was this complete non-allowance for emotions, then that is how the ego developed inside, like this harsh thing inside. And this is just symbolic. I mean, it's not really true that we're victims to our childhood or our parents. But as long as we believe we are these persons, yeah, there is something to explore here around this, there's a clear pattern or, yeah.
And in the past, when I joined to explore emotions, and this previous to A Course in Miracles, on into it, but still what comes to me is that it's always under, I felt I needed to, I didn't like the pattern of pain. But until the worthiness is ignited, it's just this efforting,
Yeah.
Instead of allowing.
Yeah.
And that's such a huge gift to have, the Course's message of worthiness, true worthiness, and then your expression to you are worthy to explore this.
Yeah.
And to feel what you feel.
Yeah.
And to express that the isolation has felt really painful. The isolation within pain, physical pain. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the isolation comes first, actually. And then comes the pain.
Yes.
But so there is a deep belief in loneliness, in being isolated and separate. I think, the intellectual defense of the intellectual family you grew up in, there is a non-allowance for deeper joining, when there is just intellect.
Yes.
Intellect without feeling, it's like nobody home, just some kind of intellect going around. So
There was a point of pride in the intellect, and the intellect, somehow you were unworthy if you couldn't solve it through the intellect.
Yeah, a lot of persona.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lonely. So I'm so glad that you're reaching out, you're here, and that you want joining, you want to feel, you want to connect.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Big hug to you too.
Pardon me?
A big hug to you. I send
Oh,
you
hug.
a hug.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have Dirk. Dirk has his hand up.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Good evening. So it's a bit quiet here. So yeah.
So you make some noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I when Pete shared or this conversation with or his sharing impressed me. This yeah, this whole kind of sharing, honesty, and presence, and then I felt fearful in comparison to me. So my ability to heal or to learn or to share in such a way. So after Pete shared, I felt fear coming up, and I felt, oh, I have to hide, not some unworthiness came up, and always this comparison.
Thanks for expressing that.
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, and before that, I had this thought about my fear to teach the course, to teach Jesus, to teach, yeah, to invite others, and yeah, and I thought maybe there's a fear to learn it for myself. Then could be a resistance. So if I don't teach, I don't learn.
Well, you teach all the time. This is, sometimes we think teaching is just looking a certain way, and we have a group where, but we teach all the time with our thinking.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where.
Okay, yeah.
There's no pressure to teach in a certain way, It's right-mindedness is the teaching. That's the only teaching. It's right-mindedness.
Yeah. Okay, then yeah, I thought confined in a certain way to read, or to read it here in the house.
Be somebody, to be a course teacher.
With somebody, and yeah, and if I do it, I suggest to read a section, and I do it. I feel a bit I could be attacked for it. There's an attack against me that I do it, that I suggest it, and I feel fear. I feel an uncomfortable feeling.
So maybe there is a belief there that you should teach that way, that you should read, that is how a teacher is.
Okay.
But I think Jesus, the Holy Spirit, doesn't demand or require this way, because the requirement is that it is invited, it is wanted, it's welcomed. Otherwise, yeah, you may get attacked, And Jesus actually said, if you're not welcome, brush the sand off your sandals and move on. So he taught his disciples, he didn't say that they should try so hard or force, try to get the teaching out there. He just said, no, just move on if you're not welcomed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to make sure that it is welcomed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
He also said to teach is to demonstrate,
Yeah.
He didn't say teaching is just to sit and read the course.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Feels like you're shifting from teaching Jesus to letting Jesus teach you.
I'm not sure that I got that, Barret. Could you?
Well, you started off by feeling like you needed to teach Jesus. And now I think you're switching to letting Jesus teach you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's another interesting line. You taught the world to teach you who you are.
Mm.
He said that's insane, because that is such a poor image of who you are. There's no truth to it. This is a little shifting topic, but yeah, taught the world to teach you who you are.
Yeah.
No, that's not a helpful, that's where we end up in a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what comes is this idea of my littleness. Is that I'm so little, and as if I cannot teach, not even myself.
Yeah, but there's no judgment in that. That's actually a freeing thought.
Mm.
If we realize that we're not like little or small in a shameful way, but we're just like a baby. A baby wouldn't try to teach an adult, A little toddler wouldn't try to teach, they would just want to learn.
Yeah.
They know they don't really know much.
Yeah, so you're very new in the ways of salvation. It's a good thing to allow to be new, to be young.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
First I thought, no, I don't want to be new. I want to be an old learner or an experienced learner, my pride. But
Old soul.
yeah. But it's a good idea. Yeah. Well, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I like being a baby, babies get fed, they get changed, they get carried around, they don't have to worry about where they're going. You just get to enjoy the scenery.
You get told what to do next.
Yeah. You get burped.
Whoa. What a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
My phone burped right as you said. I get burped.
A burp. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing the comparison thoughts too.
Yeah.
It's good to put on the altar to see that comparison. Yeah, doesn't.
Yeah. Comparison, even or especially with man. And yeah, I think that it triggers me, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, talking about it is just so helpful. So
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah,
Name it.
yeah. Maybe it's even then the voice, the body, the seeming bigger body than mine, or so. I don't know. It's an, yeah.
You have a longer body than him.
Good. Okay.
Taller is correcting.
How lucky.
Today Anna said, long Sue is here. In Swedish, we use the word long when someone is tall.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. We can giggle and laugh at the egos.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amusing little things. Yeah.
Thanks. I just want to sort of briefly share that I just started remembering as I started feeling better. I feel more grounded now. The whole time I've been feeling more and more sort of grounded and more sort of less the dissociated feeling. So, which is nice. But I just wanted to share too that like, how much miracles I've experienced, like I don't always share that, and it's too much to even explain, like incredible, miraculous things. And, the help I have, the ability, like, it's just wild to know that I have so many people that I could just get on Facebook and say, I need help right now. Like I don't even know how many people I honestly could just call at any moment and say, I need help. And, and I wanted to verbalize as well that the physical healing has been happening, because that's something that I want to give more power to. It is changing. I have been surrendering and allowing in the deepest, most radical ways that I know that I can do, that I still need help with. And, there is a change. Yes, there is something that's still constantly there in my experience, and it feels like pain. I call it pain. But it has changed, and it does feel that it's moving and shifting and lightening and getting more transient, and less dense. So I wanted to verbalize that. And Dirk, thanks very much for sharing what you shared too. The transparency is appreciated. Comparison is, a constant thing for me in everything. So thank you.
Would you say you compare more or less than Dirk?
I bet it's more. I bet it is. I'm probably better at comparing than he is.
Matthew.
Yeah, I just feel to say to Pete, the healing will come. Like, I've no doubt about that. A lot of what you said, like, I've gone through myself, the broken home, traumas from childhood, a lot of stuff coming back, especially since I've come here to Awaken to Love. And the physical pain as well. I went through a lot of that over Christmas for a few months. But the more I got in touch with the cause, the root cause, a lot of symptoms just completely fell away. And I think you alluded to it, like it is an emotional thing. And, you know, I'm happy to hear you're getting in touch with some memories and stuff. But yeah, I've no doubt that the healing will come. Yeah, it's that desire for the healing is what really gets you through. And you have that, and I can see you have it. So
Beautiful.
Thank you, Matthew.
you.
I just feel so happy. There is nothing that cannot get healed. There is nothing that a holiness cannot cleanse. And there is nothing that needs to be avoided, even in the sharing, bringing it up. It's worth it. If it's not tonight, it can be another time. But yeah, there is nothing that cannot get healed. The end is inevitable, bright and clear, and full, complete home. It's going to be, it's this place of completeness. No part is apart. No piece is left behind. No isolation possible. Just fullness, just home. It is totally and surely inevitable. And there is nothing to fear in the steps to home. How fearful could it be to be whole? To be one, to be fullness. The strangest fear of all is the fear of God. The fear of God. And it's unnecessary. Because God is love. Like the lesson today or yesterday was love created me like itself. Wholeness created me whole. Holiness created me holy. Peace created me peaceful. There's nothing to fear in this. Does it feel complete for tonight, or is there any last share? Sorry.
I don't know exactly what that is. I just just an experience last night that I would like to share. I don't know. I don't even know why. I think I have this, sort of shame around my anxiety, and it comes up so strong as it did last night. Just, and it was so, unpredictable. It was just a sound bow. It was a sound. We were out on the streets, and there was like a gunshot or something. At first and then it happened 2 or 3. I think the third time it happened, and it got closer. I just got into so much panic. It's probably difficult for me in that situation to express what's going on. And
it's
I wasn't able to express to Peter what I needed.
Mm.
And then I didn't get it. And I'm able to see it's kind of built up and becomes something that's really
Well, I was going to say there's another version of the PTSD that we've talked about. You know, there is no danger, and yet there is a reaction as if there is. It's a memory. And this is the journey of releasing the past, releasing this fear that was induced in the past, you know. So, yeah, that allowance to share and join with Peter, come for a hug, or, you know, but to really be open to just releasing this idea that something is dangerous now, because I think somewhere you know it isn't, you know. So just to be gentle and be on this pattern of anxiety, this it is it can a little bit like an addiction to the feeling of anxiety, where there is really nothing to worry about, you know. You're safe, and so just to even say to yourself that this must be from the past. I'm safe now. This must be from the past. Because otherwise you make those snowballs that we've talked about.
yeah. I'm a little confused of like how much am I to allow, and because there's part of me that just wanted to disappear when it comes. And that might be the part where I just push away or not say anything. I don't,
Yeah.
And Peter gets irritated, and, you know, maybe because he doesn't know what's going on. And then it just ends up in an evening where we get totally separated and blaming and everything, you know, and it doesn't feel helpful.
Right. It's probably more helpful for you to express about it, or to just say this past fear came up, you know, just to say that even.
yeah, I think maybe I go in to try and explain instead of just saying, okay, this is, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you relive something in the past if you try to explain, or you separate from Peter, and when he gets irritated, then it's kind of like a building up something that is not really happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can see I go with the more that comes up, the more I go into this pattern of feeling more and more separated and
Mhm.
and closing down. Yeah.
The sooner you can open up again to connection, to safety, to trust. Yeah, just to help yourself in that way.
Yeah, this afternoon we did, I don't know, one of us suggested diets so we could try and get out of this locked situation where we don't feel connected, and at some point I could really literally feel the shift.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Such a helpful thing.
It's just like something fell away or something. Yeah.
Having this thing come to mind, this study I heard about where they were studying, well, they studied both kind of normal people, but also these monks that had been meditating for 30, 40 years, something like that. And in this experiment that they did, they sort of were doing like a mind scan, brain scan of normal people and the monks while they're meditating. And in the middle of the meditation, it's sort of without any advance notice, the researchers would have this loud alarm that went off in the room. And all the kind of regular people had this big startle reaction. Obviously, in the brain scan, you could see it. It was very clear. But for the monks who'd been meditating for decades, they didn't have that reaction. They didn't have the startle response. In fact, it was kind of fascinating. They actually showed in the monks' minds that before the sound even happened, some new awareness shift came into the brain scan. Like they were so tuned in, they knew the sound was going to come before it actually played. And so when it actually happened, they were able to maintain their calm. It's almost like in kind of normal life, we kind of think it should be a certain way. We have a constant expectation. For example, that there shouldn't be a loud gunshot-like noise wherever I am. It should not happen. My peace of mind depends on that not happening. Well, again, if you get to the level of these monks, you don't have that expectation. Your peace of mind is not dependent on no gunshot noise or gunshot noise. I mean, it's just like, and I think that's the goal here for this, is that there's such a deep inner calm that it holds anything that happens on the phenomenal worldly level. You're so tuned in, you might even be able on a deep level to know, oh, there's going to be a startling noise coming, but I don't have to react to it. You can be that tuned in to what's going on. I think that's just, I don't know, such a cool study when I heard about this happening. So it just feels like it's very relevant to what you're sharing.
Mm.
That's good. We'll end the evening in that vibe of the monks who are not startled. just peace, just acceptance, allowance. Did you want to share too, Laurie?
Even though it's felt intense since the retreat, I do feel like there's a lot shifting, and yeah, it just yeah, even today Joe's doing the dog walking for a little bit of pocket money, and we were going to go and meet the dogs and the lady today for the first time, and I just had the bank and things to sort out at the bank on my mind, but this fear of letting this woman down and letting Joe down, and so we end up going off to go and meet the woman, and then I end up driving down a ditch. And then even that was kind of miraculous, because within seconds, it's like a really not a busy road at all. And within seconds, two men just came from nowhere to like pick the car out. But it was just one of them things again, like just that ego voice, like, you're absolute idiot, you can't drive, you've got no navigation skills. And really, and then I ended up messaging the lady and saying, it doesn't feel good to come today. I went straight to the bank, and the woman that helped me in the bank was so adorable. Like, that wouldn't have happened if I'd have gone off to. It's almost like the ditch had to happen to send me into enough of a state.
It had to stop you. It was
Yeah.
It was helpful.
Yeah, fear of letting people down, and even just what's come up with me, I just lie on the bed. Sometimes I'm just in that much of a state. I just lie on the bed and just allow, and just watching the thoughts, like, to not let the intellect want to problem solve, just to be with the feelings and not, I can fix this and I can find a solution. And it's such a habit. I feel relieved for talking some of this up, because I that's a habit as well. I just don't want to speak because I don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to talk about it. And so thank you for prompting me.
Yeah, thank you, Laurie. Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like a very helpful driving into a ditch experience.
Yeah, and the car wasn't damaged at all, so that was it. It's only just got its ITV as well, which is an ordeal in itself. So the last thing I needed was for some damage to the car today. But it was all good.
So you're in a pre-arranged movie, Laurie. You drive into a ditch, two strong men come and pull the car up. We know which direction to go next. It's a movie. We are just in a really good movie.
I heart Awaken to Love.
Oh, I feel so much better.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
It can all be light. It can all be just lightness. And big hugs to everyone. Big warm hugs.
I'll give you a hug.
Everyone who has someone on the screen, hug them. Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Okay. See you again soon.
So much happy hugs.
Yeah. Love you.
Yeah, I love you all.
Good night.